It's 11:59 at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this, your song.
And welcome, everybody. We are doing a special addition to the Daily Gun Show to talk about the Patch Batch. So I should be screen sharing now. And we're live on Instagram. We're simulcasting over on gunchannels.com. And then we're on YouTube. So we're talking about the Patch Batch, the 2A Patch Batch. This is a project that we're about two-thirds of the way through. We've got 5 days left on a crowdfunding project, and we're going to talk about that tonight. We've got some links out there to the people that are participating in it. See if anybody jumps in. So this is a 17-day project to get some patches made. So we have a couple of goals with the project. The first being, of course, the patches. Those are the catalyst for the whole thing. Patches are PVC rubber with a Velcro back, and they're going to be in the shapes of their logos with full color and everything, so that these projects, these channels, and these platforms will have some patches to use for marketing or for giveaways or for sale. And in order to finance these patches, we're going to offer batches or sets of the patches to people who participate in the campaign. So the campaign is going to run for 17 days. We've got 5 days left, and people that grab one of the batches or the sets will get Every Second Matters patch. They'll get a 2A for everyone. They'll get a Gunstreamer patch that doesn't look like this. It'll look something like something else. We've got a Ghost Tactical patch, got a Gear Report, which will look a little different than this one. The Gun Tube logo. We'll have a Clover Tack patch. This is just a placeholder. It'll look completely different than this. Same with the Pew Pew Jew. We'll have different design up there. The 2A Fund, Never Enough Ammo, and Yankee Marshall YouTube channels, and then Florida Carry. So we have a couple of different projects and types of participants, and lots of different logos. So it'll be a little bit of brand type logos and a couple of just funny ones and some interesting ones. Should be pretty good variety of patches. So we're going to have a limited number. Basically, we're just trying, well, I guess not a limited number. We're going to have a minimum number. So once we meet the minimum number, that'll accomplish two things. It'll provide patches for everybody that participates, or everybody that makes it happen. They'll get a set of them shipped. And then each of the projects, each of the 12 projects involved will each get 100 patches. So that's what it's all about, is getting each of the projects 100 patches. So again, that's the catalyst. That's what it's all about, and that's what facilitates it. And it's difficult to do the math. It's kind of a balancing act. As more people or less people participate, the shipping number goes up and down, and that's a pretty large portion of it. So it should work out. And everyone should get the patches. But what it's also, the campaign is also an opportunity or an effort to have these different projects work together. We've got people that have done publishing. We've got people that do state level legal awareness and I guess not lobbying, but campaigning. We've got large YouTube channels. We've got a funding platform, a project that is designed to fund 2A projects. We've got some video hosting platforms. We've got the Every Second Matters awareness campaign. We've got the Gear Report blog and more. So this was a lot of resources, a lot of skill sets, and the idea was to create a project that we'd be able to work together and kind of all pick up the rope and pull in the same direction and learn what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are on that, and in the process learn from each other as far as our individual skills and skill sets, and then the audience to see how what kind of diversity there is out there in Second Amendment interests or community, I guess. So we're going to take a look at some of the projects there. I guess I'll look over and see if anybody's chatting over here. We got 7 people watching on the YouTube side. Not really early, it's just a separate show. And a couple people saying hey. So Pete is saying stretch too thin to make it happen. Yeah, no problem. So a lot of people aren't going to be able to order. We only need 200 people. I need this open anymore. We only need 200 people to participate. We've got 67 already. So now it's a matter of getting the word out to those 100 and something people. So it's if you'd like to help the project or help any of these organizations to see a successful project, then just use the share tools that are here on the Indiegogo platform. Those are always good because then the platform's happy. But consider just telling people about it. There might be somebody out there that's into patches that let them know. You never know if they're interested. Like I say, we really only need 200 individuals to participate out of the, I don't know, there's got to be several thousand gun owners in this country. If anything's going on over here on the gun channel side. Nope. So we'll get back to the project page here, and it's on Indiegogo.com. And one of the reasons we put it on the big crowdfunding platform as opposed to just doing it on a website or on gun channels or through the social media platforms is because this puts another 2A project here on Indiegogo. I guess I'll link it here. Anybody that might jump into gun channels and watch. Here on the YouTube side. So if anybody goes to Indiegogo and is just browsing around, then they might have an opportunity to find out about any of these organizations or just the idea that firearms projects aren't always about whatever the media would like to portray it as. This is our 30-something project. This one, glad to say that we did everything, I guess, good because it's now featured in the arts and films section of Indiegogo. We don't often get featured, so that's showing that there's a lot of interest and a lot of traffic coming to the campaign, which is good because it's given each of these projects some extra, I guess, residual links on the web. So you got a massive funding platform like Indiegogo. It's probably one of the larger sites on the internet. One of the, again, ulterior motives as a website guy is I got links out there to Tony for 2A for Everyone. We got links out there to 2A Fund, the other Tony. We got links out there to Gunstreamer and GunTube. We got links out there to Ghost and Clover and Matt and Yankee. We've got links out there to Pew Pew Jew. We got links out there to Gear Report and Florida Carry. So these are on a big platform, and I don't know if there's too many other platforms that are out there trying to put links out there. So we'll go down and take a look at some of these participants. So I basically thought this was a project worth doing. There's no time to do it. There's no perfect time of the year. There's no perfect storm or perfect calm, I guess. And if there is, it's the calm before the storm, right? So there was no perfect time to do this. So I just looked at the NRA show as a waypoint, a point on the calendar, and I worked my way back. I'd need some time to get them before they go to the show. Then we need some time to ship. The manufacturers need time to create them. And then that gave us the amount of time we needed to do the project. So that's why it became a 17-day project. I think I looked at the calendar and saw that we could start it on Samuel Colt's, or the day that Samuel Colt patented his first firearm, the first revolving firearm, really. That was February 25th. And then we're going to end it on Canine Veterans Day, which is March 13th. And that all works out on the timeline here. The campaign will end. That'll give us a few days to get all the designs and everything finalized, sent to the manufacturers. Gives them plenty of time to produce them. Whenever they come back, we'll be able to ship them, and everybody should get them well before the NRA show, which is a little bit after or towards the end of April. So let's talk about the participants. I basically came up with the idea and started asking people if they wanted to be involved. A couple of people jumped in right away. A couple of people had to twist their arm. For example, Never Enough Ammo. I've been trying to get him to do a patch for a long time now. I am a patch guy. I like patches, and a lot of the YouTubers have patches. I know Matt considers himself a YouTuber. So I just thought it was cool to finally get Matt on board to have a patch. GunTube was one of the real big reasons I wanted to do this campaign. GunTube is a valid video hosting platform that's looking forward. They're not trying to emulate platforms of the past. They're not trying to just provide the same tools that the old platforms used to. Nightstrike is building a platform based on his knowledge of how people use the technology that we have available to us today, and it's a great platform. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of financial backing or even a lot of grassroots activities, so it's going to be difficult for him to get a set of patches. I figure this is a great way to not only give him some patches that he might be able to use for fundraising, but also some much needed awareness and much due awareness. So GunTube is in there. We got Gunstreamer, another Pro 2A video hosting platform. They're out of Salt Lake City area. Good people. I've met up with them a couple of times now in real life. They are really good people with a great platform and probably the best potential out there for a Pro 2A archive of content, as well as a platform for us to grow as a community. This will be their second batch of patches. They were able to get some done before SHOT Show, which was awesome, and they came out really well. So this will be a supplement to that, and we have yet to come up with or see their design. I know they're working on one now, but this will be their first PVC run. So we'll have that one included in there. I guess I could be clicking on these links. So when you click on these links, it'll take you to the platforms. Gunstreamer's a pretty cool place, pretty easy to use. They've got the Contribute Us platform, so they're even looking towards how to fund content looking forward. So then we got GunTube, we just talked about. GunTube, yeah, great platform. Right now, he's completely funded by his banner ads, which is a shame because it's a very expensive proposition to get into video hosting. But again, Nightstrike is looking at more than just duplicating what's already out there, and he's got some features for live and for streaming that are blowing away the competition, you could say. So next we get down to 2A for everyone. I guess I'll open these in a new tab now. So this is Tony Simon's diversity shoot every couple of weeks in New Jersey and states nearby, and I guess growing number of states nearby. Tony gets together, and you can see from the pictures here, he gets quite a few people together who are not familiar yet with firearms, and he gives them an introduction, he gives them an opportunity to shoot, and he gives them the time and the I guess introduction that you would need if you were new to guns. So he's really boots on the ground. He's been doing that for years now, putting his time and his effort where his mouth is, and is got an organization that has not had a patch yet. So that's the 2A4E one. We're simulcasting on Instagram. Some dude saying, "Are you going to do any more AK videos?" Yeah, I don't know, maybe. AK videos are in priority under the ability to own AKs, which is the rights protected by our Second Amendment. And while that's at risk, interesting videos about AK history, which is the only thing I'm interested in about the AKs, get kicked to the curb. And as I have time and as I have resources, then yeah, I'll do more AK videos. But till then, I'm going to try to continue to get people motivated to work next year when we have an election to keep Pro A on the radar and at the top of their priority lists. And we're trying to create pipelines, create systems that we as people who create content and are able to distribute messages so that we can practice and get stronger distributing messages. So when there's important messages to get out there, there's less noise and clutter and more efficient distribution of information. So we're going to do AK videos, yeah, when it's appropriate. Getting back to here, we got Pew Pew Jew, author and activist, and like I say, his patch will be to be determined. So I only met Yuta a couple of times now. He spoke at the 2A media workshop they call AMCON at the Gun Rights Policy Conference. He wrote a couple of books on safety for gun safety for kids, and then has a bunch of different shirts and things. So looking forward to what design he comes up with. Still not sure everything that he's got going on, but I know that Ghost has had him on as a guest on his podcast, so he might have more information on him. We got Florida Carry, the state level organization in Florida. They've been involved with trying to get open carry, which is frustrating for Florida. They have lots of pretty decent firearms laws except for open carry. So Florida Carry is an organization that was created to help champion that cause. In addition, they do education and awareness and legal stuff. I hesitate to say they do lobbying, because I don't think they do. I know that Eric has done some legal work in his duties as a lawyer, but I'd let them describe what all they do. Anyway, it's an organization that's attempting, well, they've led the way really in a lot of ways by being an organization that shared their skills and their resources with other state level organizations as they were created. But in addition, they're doing good work in Florida. We've known these guys for a long time. They've been members of Gun Channel, so we've had them in conversations over the years. And I know that they're efforting towards bringing their organization and the way that they communicate with their organizations up to, I don't know what to call it, newer tech and different systems. So again, an opportunity to work with them and for them to learn from some of the other people on the project who are more fluent in some of these other skills. We've got the 2A Fund, 2afund.com, 2afund.com. This is Artisan Tony's project. Each month he sends out $100 of his own money, and then however much gets accumulated through this PayPal button. I throw in $5 a month. Others throw in some money, and then Tony takes that accumulated funds and gives it to a 2A organization. This last month he gave it to that guy's wife, a female mom and grandma, I guess, who's creating firearms videos as she explores learning about firearms. So Tony's helping her to get a logo. So it's a creative way to directly fund venture capital, I guess you could say, some of the content that Tony finds interesting. I know that before that he had funded the 2A for Everyone project from Tony Simon. So a lot of people are concerned about the Patreon or the Indiegogo even, or in any of the projects, because people always have concerns about everything to some extent. And Tony's efforting on making a crowdfunding engine that's a little bit different and independent from the others. I'm sure if it needed to, Tony would write him a check or send him cash. I mean, his goal is to get money and funding into the hands of 2A projects, not worrying about the details of if it's PayPal or Patreon or whatever it might be. We've got gear-report.com, gearreport.com, which is a blog for, well, as it says, gear reports. They do everything from guns and hunting and gear and vehicles. I'm sure they got some food in there and camping. So it's a neat concept, one that I've been a fan of for a long time. I guess one that Amazon has capitalized on at some point with their focus on gear, on reviews, item reviews in the Amazon website. So anybody can read a description in a catalog, because that's going to be very descriptive and it's going to be very flowery as far as describing the looks or whatever of the item you're talking about, or it'll have accurate dimensions and characteristics of it. But as far as actual use, having a non-biased review is always valuable. In fact, one of the big things that YouTube is successful from is the using the platform, or people use the platform for gear reviews. So the gearreport.com takes it to the next level, and instead of just being at the whim of the media platforms and having to build content designed to work with the algorithms on those platforms, they do theirs based on actual usefulness of the review and I guess consistency and gaining respect from the readers. So they do it in a, what am I trying to say, like a very legitimate way, and it's neat. And I like the idea that they're doing it on their own website as opposed to focused on the platforms. Too many people's projects are focused on the platform they started on, or the platform they feel is going to have the most reach or whatever. And then you're at the whim of those platforms. And we see lots of people get discouraged and leave working good projects because they were so invested in the platform that they posted it on that they didn't feel like starting over or changing it, or they just weren't interested in continuing once a platform makes a major shift. So I think it's great that Gear Report is doing it on their own website. It's also great that the way they're doing it is a way that the reviewers are able to, again, we're taught to talk about funding, because unless you want everything to be amateur, you've got people that have costs of production. So it allows the writers who have sources of income to use those on the Gear Reports. I think that's great. It's allowing people to be a step ahead, or a step more responsive, or a step more involved with their content and with their projects than you can on any platform. So again, a platform that's looking forward, and it's focused on reporting on gear reviews. Next, you got Yankee Marshall, who is a YouTube guy. He's been making YouTube videos for a long time. I met Yankee back in, I think, 10 or 11, when Never Enough Ammo was doing some live chats on a different different video platform called something else, and I can't remember now. Blog TV. So there was this other website before YouTube had live video, and Never Enough Ammo would do a live show even back then, and Yankee would get on and say all kinds of idiot things in the chat, and me and him would get at it. And then whenever YouTube gave us this live feature, I found out one Thursday afternoon, if I remember right, and emailed everybody I knew, hey, we got live on YouTube now. We don't have to use that other thing. The other thing had issues, and it was clunky, and it made people go jump around to like a lesser platform that really didn't work that good. So it was great to see it on YouTube, and that's when Never Enough Ammo started doing his shows on a regular basis, and Yankee and Never Enough Ammo and I have been chatting since then, and those guys have been have grown from channels with tens of thousands of views or viewers to our subscribers, or they're called, to just giant channels. So it's been great, and everybody's been able to see their growth and their dedication to their whatever their values are, even though their values are kind of weird. They both have their own, and they're both unique, but they're both real, and they're both have not wavered in their interest in keeping the conversation going. Yankee does it in his unique way. Matt does it in his unique way with bringing people on. I think I challenge anybody to find someone else who hasn't ambassadored more people onto YouTube and into the live discussions about firearms than Never Enough Ammo. So I think I mentioned it before, this will be his first patch, so that's kind of cool. It'll be Yankee's first patch with us. He's only done other patches with other people that are lesser quality, inferior, so this will be a first. Well, actually Yankee's done a couple other patches, but this will be his best patch yet. It'll be PVC, and it'll be legit because we're making it. We'll have Clover Tech and Ghost, so two other YouTubers. They're more than YouTubers, though. They probably would consider themselves podcasters or probably content creators. They are both utilizing all the platforms that are out there, doing it well, and additionally sharing that insight and their success with others. So true dedicated Second Amendment content creators that, really what a GunTube is building their platform for, and what Gunstreamer is building theirs for, and what Gun Channels is for, and what everything is working towards. So they were the first two to jump onto the project, and I think they probably together put in more work than anybody else on the project. So again, great examples of what individuals can do. Both of them have, well, I guess Clover's kind of retired at this point, but it shows you what two people can do when they have real life going on and doing YouTube as sort of a step up from a hobby. Finally, you get Every Second Matters, which is an awareness campaign that was started by a group of people who used to hang out on live chats back in 2012 and 13. And at the end of 2013, when we saw the apathy that was starting from the and a collective sigh of relief after the initial resistance to Obama's 23 executive actions, a bunch of us decided, hey, let's do something each month that can keep the lines of communication open, can keep those that are interested in our Second Amendment, those that are interested in the concept of eternal vigilance, is required for liberty. So that's a campaign that's been going on for a long time. It's nonprofit. Every once in a while, somebody steals the logo and profits on it, but we don't. We have the patches made. Every patch that's been made has either been crowdfunded or I guess you could say funded by individuals who just wanted to see them get made. So they made a bunch and let us benefit from the low cost once the quantity cost. So we buy the patches. We've always been able to buy the patches at a decent price because of the contributions of everybody working together to get the patches made. And I think this will be the 7th run of the patches. The patches go to a place called Beacon Group here in Tucson. Beacon Group hires differently abled people and gives them a real paycheck, gives them a job, a 9-to-5 job, and gives them something to do. So what they'll do is they'll take these patches and they'll package them for us in a baggie with business cards and some other stuff. And then whenever the orders come in, they put them in an envelope and send them. So for that, it costs a couple of $4 or $5, but it's worth it. And so that's the Every Second Matters patches. This will be refreshing that supply of patches. Potentially, we'll do them in a different color. We've been kind of screwing with the colors each time. We're out of black and white, so we'll do those probably, though. Well, with all that, you see that GunTube jumped in. I don't know, Nightstrike, if you wanted to add anything there, but it doesn't look like anybody else is jumping in tonight, so probably just do this run through of the campaign.
Well, thanks for letting me jump in. I don't have anything to add other than, we're almost, not quite, but we're almost halfway there. So, if you can, go ahead and support the Indiegogo campaign. If you can't, share the link to the campaign, and maybe somebody will support the campaign. So keep sharing the links.
Yeah, or don't. I guess you could watch it fail. That's always an option. And, if it does, then we'll have learned what not to do. And we'll learn from that one how to do it better if we do it again next time. Hopefully we will. I don't think it'll fail, though. We've got 5 days left. And often these campaigns will catch up in the last couple of days. You never know when people's paychecks and interests will wane and wax and wane, I guess is the word. So, yeah, looking forward to how it pans out. It'll end Wednesday. So next Wednesday, midnight, I imagine. I'm just not sure if it's midnight Eastern or midnight our time. But sometime Wednesday night, it'll end. And without things looking good, we will take a couple of days to get everybody's art together. The patches will then, or the art will all get sent out, and all the stuff will get kind of initiated. We'll do all the verifying of all the designs and everything, and then all the stuff will get created. Then it'll all get shipped out. We will skim off the 150 or so that will go out to the people that made the project happen, and then 100. So basically, going to make like 350 of each patch. And then the 100 of them will go out to the organizations or the projects, and the other 150 will go out to all the people that participated in the project. So everybody should get their patches just a couple of 3 or 4 days before the NRA show. If all goes according to plan. If anything, every once in a while things get shipped faster, so potentially sooner. But I guess at the same time, everything could get screwed up and could go potentially longer. But this is not our first time doing a set of patches. It's not our first time working with most of the people on the project. So I'm looking forward to a fairly hassle-free project. And we'll see if anybody else saying anything over here. So there was an option for a single random patch. Yeah, we added an option for a single random one for $15. When is the final day to order? It'll be next Wednesday, which is, say, the Canine Veterans Day, March 8th. Is that right? No. That's today. It'll be March 14th. No, it'll be March 13th. There we go. All right. Well, with that, thanks everybody for joining in. And if you would, please share the project. We'll throw the link out here once again, and that'll help get more people aware of it. We only really need to get another 100 and something people on board, and with 1 million something gun owners out there, we're going to this link. Then Sharon is Karen. So thanks everybody for watch and listen. Thanks for Night Strike for jumping in. Thanks to people on Instagram. We will talk to you all later.
Bye, everyone.
And I gotta find the button. There it is.